Is beauty all that matters to you? Hello everyone, this is Ninja Girl Soccer 1 here, again with another homemade doll of mine. Yeah, I like to do homemade stuff, especially dolls that I can't actually buy, or they haven't made a particular toy of a certain character, so that's why I like to do that sort of thing. But today, what I've made and I'm here to show you is my doll of Princess Odette. This is Odette from the Don Bluth adaptation of Swan Lake, which was called The Swan Princess, which is a movie from the 90s. And it was such a cute movie. I highly recommend watching it if you've not seen it yet, if you want a very Disney-esque adaptation of the Swan Lake story. I do have to correct people here. Don't be fooled into thinking that it is Disney. It is not. Don Bluth just happened to be an animator that used to work for Disney, but then he went and did movies, I guess, with his own studio, or I'm not exactly sure, but just so people know, Swan Princess is not a Disney movie, but it is made by a Disney animator. There. But I loved the movie as a child, and I loved Odette's character because she is very sweet and very pretty and very, for the most part, independent. She's just a good character. And I did used to have the dolls of Odette that were out a long time ago, but again, I don't have them. I was like 9 or 10 when I had them, so obviously they're no longer made, so I can't get it again. On eBay, they're over $100 now, so I made my own, went my own way with her. I made her from a Mattel Belle doll that I used to have. It didn't matter too much because I do have another Belle, which I have done a review of, but I haven't uploaded yet, so I will get on that soon. Don't worry about that. But since I did have that Belle, I didn't need this one anymore, so I went and made her into Odette. And I did have to cut, like I did with my homemade Elsa. I had to cut basically the top of the skull off, which had her brown hair. And I actually used that to make my Hermione, which is in my Harry Potter videos, if you want to go and see that. But I ended up using that for that. But anyway, and at the time I did have a blonde wig. It was actually my mom's because her hair was cut too short for her liking one time, and she ended up getting a wig to fix that. But eventually, obviously, her hair grew back to the length she wanted, and she no longer needed it, so I used it for Odette. It is still synthetic hair, it's not real, but it turned out pretty well for Odette's hair. So, but I will go ahead and give you a good look at her face, of course. Odette has, obviously, her beautiful long blonde hair. She has blue eyes. I actually had a blue pen, so I was able to go in there and make Belle's eyes from brown to blue, so that worked. And she has bright pink lipstick, so it's a pretty face mold, I will say. So, and it does look like Odette to me. Maybe it's not perfect, but it looks like Odette, so for the most part. And for Odette's hair, I couldn't actually get the waviness of her hair that she has in the movie, but I was able to at least get the voluminous aspect of it that Odette has with her hair. And it is pretty long, as you can see. It goes past her hips, so. And it is cut at a sort of angle. Let's see. I can't actually turn her around on this stand. If I do, she will slide off and move. But yeah. Odette's hair in the back kind of goes at this sideways kind of angle, so that's what I tried to do here. It looks like it pretty much, I guess. Now the hardest part for me was Odette's dress. One reason only, though, these puffy sleeves. I had no clue how to sew puffy sleeves, and doing it for a little doll's arm was painstakingly hard. I had to go on YouTube and look at videos of how to do this. And it was people actually making puffy sleeves for their real clothes that they could wear. So I had to kind of take that concept and shrink it down pretty much. Not easy, but the rest of her dress wasn't too bad. So there's a full view of it. And I did have this thing to make the gold piece that is on her belt in the movie. In the movie, it's just a plain gold, I guess, belt loop kind of thing. But this actually gives it a special touch, so that's pretty. The only downside with Odette is her posability, because she was a Mattel doll, is it's pretty much zero. Her arms can only move back and forth, each arm obviously, and her legs, same thing. They're not jointed or anything. And here's her shoes, by the way. These are the same shoes that the Mattel belt came with. I kept them because they do work for a dress, because it matches the brooch thing on her belt. So, but they're just gold shoes with little bows on them. They're cute. So, but Odette came out pretty well. She's not perfect. I would get the official real one that did come out along with Derek, and there was a couple Odettes that came out actually back then in the 90s. Goodness, I feel old already. But since they're on eBay, I have looked, they're over $100, which is ridiculous. Therefore I can't actually get it, so I did the next best thing and made my own. Kind of like I did with Melody from Little Mermaid 2. Something I forgot to mention when I made that video, I did have the Toys R Us exclusive Melody that came out back when Little Mermaid 2 was released, and I did lose it, and I've wanted one ever since. I went to eBay looking, and I've looked several times to see if I could find it any cheaper. She is $500 to $600, sometimes more, which is crazy. So I can't actually get Melody again either, but that's why I did the next best thing. But anyway, that is Odette. I highly recommend watching Swan Princess and listening to the soundtrack. There are two songs in particular that are great. One is the duet between Derek and Odette from the first one, which is Far Longer Than Forever. And the next song I highly recommend listening to is The Magic of Love from Swan Princess 2. Those are two wonderful songs that you should go listen to and watch the movies. There are 3 of them. The first one is the best one, obviously, but anyway, again, that is Odette. I hope you like her, and until my next video, thank you everyone for watching.